I was playing a little bit of Cammy again, and I was kind of reminded of a tip that Broly Legs had given me back when I was trying to learn her. And I think it could help a lot of people improve their neutral, so today I want to talk about it. I think while watching me play, Broly had noticed that I wasn't able to like DP on reaction very well. Like I could recognize when I needed to anti-air, but I physically could not DP anti-air when the time came. And the conclusion that he came to was that I was just moving around too much. Like I was just moving left and right a lot in neutral for no reason. Usually when you see pro players moving left and right a lot or like shimmying in the middle of nowhere in neutral, it's to bait something out or it's to like mix with their opponents so they don't really know what's coming. But for me, it could kind of just become a habit of pressing left and right a lot. There wasn't really a purpose to it anymore. At first, I had started doing it because when I was playing Karen and I watched Punk, he would do that a lot. He would like be pretty far out in neutral from his opponent, and he'd just be pressing left and right, so his opponent wouldn't know what would be coming next. But I didn't really understand why he was doing it. I just started to copy it. And while it does kind of give you an element of unpredictability to your opponent because they don't really know why you're moving like that or when you're going to start moving forward or backwards or input something, ultimately doing it too much is really detrimental because when it comes time to input something like a DP, you're never ready. Like you're already in motion doing something else, so you have to go from whatever motion you're in, whether it's back or forward, into a completely other motion in time to stop somebody jumping in on you, and most of the time you won't be ready for it. There's a time and a place on the screen where you need to be moving left and right like that, but not all the time, and you need to have a purpose behind your movements, whether it's to take up space or like to mix somebody up or to get yourself in range to punish something or whiff punish something. You have to have a reason for moving around the screen. Moving left and right in the middle of nowhere isn't always the best idea because it's basically like preoccupying your fingers or your wrist. If you play hitbox, it's your fingers. If you play on stick, it's probably your wrist. So you're just adding a layer of execution whenever somebody jumps in there and you need to DP. And a lot of you have probably been doing it for so long you're used to it at this point. I just am not. So when Broly said that to me so long ago, I didn't really understand what he was saying until like now. Until I have like Ken and Ryu players in gold like cross up jumping me over and over again. It's like, oh, I can't just walk under. Like I like I need to cross cut these guys or they're just gonna keep jumping over my head. Or I can't just keep walking left and right. These guys are just gonna keep jumping at me. Like you have to be ready to DP those kind of things because people will test you. And then it becomes a game of like I'm way too focused on the ground game. Like I'm way too focused on whiff punishing or like taking up my space or standing at the right spot. That once they jump, I kind of just forget about it. Like my system 2 doesn't kick in, and I'm kind of just standing there. And then I'll block 3 jump-ins. I'm like, oh shit, I should probably stop that. There's a very famous example of that. I think it's like Evo Japan 2020 or 2019, whatever the last one was. And if you watch Mago versus the soccer player Nauman, he is so focused on the ground game that Nauman jumps at him like 2 or 3 times and he does not react at all. He just blocks it because he's so focused on the ground game that he sees this jump in and he just completely ignores it. Like, and people are like, oh, why didn't he anti-air? He's just too focused on the ground game. And when you're playing a character like Karen, I understand that. But when I picked Cammy and I've been playing her, just messing around with her a little bit when I get bored of playing Colleen, you have to sort of shift into, oh, I have a DP now. Like I have an actual good anti-air and I need to use it. Like I need to be ready to use it. And I need to really pay attention to when somebody jumps at me, like way more than Colleen or like Karen. Because on those 2 characters, if you see somebody jump, you could probably crouch heavy punch and be pretty safe. Although I feel like there is a little bit more of a timing to the like crouch heavy anti-airs than there is to the DP. Once I realize and like visually confirm they're in the air and I input the DP, it's probably gonna hit. When I like see them leave the ground, sometimes I'll input a crouch heavy punch on Colleen or Karen too early, and then it like whiffs and I eat a whole jump in. And that's just one of the consequences of playing a bunch of different characters. Anyways, I know this was a short one, but it just kind of popped into my head and I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope it helped, and if it did, consider subscribing. Thanks so much.